In today's episode, we're talking about a man who tried to murder a teen and then left her barely alive in a utility closet. Welcome lambs, welcome new lambs, welcome old lambs to Love and Murder, the Friday edition. If you're new here, go ahead and listen to this episode, and if you like it, go ahead and subscribe right now so you don't miss any more episodes. And I do have a full back catalog where you can binge past episodes and listen to some crazy cases. Also, I want to remind y'all that this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my lambs in Patreon, patreon.com/Love and Murder. Now let's get into this Florida Man Friday. On July 4th, 2024, in Orange County, Florida, 13-year-old Rose Dieujuste, which I might have said that wrong, was found almost dead. The spelling of her last name is in the show notes, so I apologize if I did say that wrong. What investigators believe happened is that she was on her way to visit a friend at another building in her apartment complex, but she never actually reached this destination, so her friend started looking for her. Instead of finding her, her friend found her cell phone and her shoes in a staircase in one of the other apartments. So her friend ran over to her family's house, the teenager's family's house, to let her know that I was looking for her. She was supposed to come over. She never came over. I was looking for her. I found her cell phone. I found her shoes, but I have no idea where she is. So the girl's cousin and brother started looking for her, knocking on doors, asking anybody around, have you seen this girl? Have you seen this girl? Until they finally found her in a utility closet. In that closet, she was stabbed, she was barely alive, and she was partially naked. Now, take a moment here. Can you imagine you're somebody's brother or sister, even their cousin, somebody's telling you she's missing, and then you're the one to find her in that type of situation? I can't even imagine. I think some people listen to true crime and they don't imagine themselves in the victim's family's shoes or even friends. Like, think about that. You just found your friend or your family member in that situation, partially naked and bleeding all over the place. How would you feel? Emergency responders were called to the scene, which is police and ambulance. They did try life-saving efforts there, but she did remain unresponsive. They did CPR, they did first aid, and she never actually woke up. And after they took her to the hospital, she actually died of her injuries there at the hospital. So now police are searching for a murderer. So during the investigation, the first place they're looking around is the crime scene. So in the utility closet, police did find a 12-inch knife. It wasn't really certain if that was a murder weapon or not, but they're assuming it's the murder weapon. The second thing they did was speak to any witnesses who might have seen what was going on. And some people did say that they did see a, quote, heavy-set man leaving the building where Rose was found. The third thing they did was to see, it's an apartment complex, they should have surveillance video. So they went and looked at the surveillance video. Is any surveillance video pointing to this utility closet? So in reviewing the surveillance footage, they did see a person following Rose. So they're assuming this could be the perp that they're looking for. Now they expanded their reach in surveillance video to see if they can backtrack where this guy came from. They found video from a nearby store showing this same man buying a knife that same day. And this store isn't that far from this apartment complex. So they found the knife, the same knife that they found in a utility closet that they weren't sure was the actual murder weapon. They found this guy who had been following Rose buying that exact same knife. Now their question was, who is this man? So police decided to release a part of the footage from the apartment complex to try and get anyone who knows anything about this man to call in. Somebody did call in, and he was arrested that same day. There's about two things that's about to shock you right now. Guess where he was arrested? Police arrested him when he came to the same spot where he had stabbed Rose. He came back to the scene of the crime, y'all. This guy was 28-year-old Jerry Dorisme. And guess who called the cops on him? His own father called the cops on him. Jerry was actually an undocumented person from Haiti, and he had been in the States since 2008. After he was arrested and police brought up his information, it showed that he had attacked an underage girl. He was charged with lewd and lascivious molestation, and that was later downgraded to aggravated child abuse. In court, he pled no contest and was sentenced to a year and a day in prison. Again, it goes back to what does it take? This guy has a history of going after underage girls. He molested one, he attacked one, and y'all just kept letting him out, First of all, he's not even supposed to be in the country. He's undocumented, which means he's not supposed to be here. So the first time he went to prison, he was supposed to be deported. Even if he didn't go to prison, being that he's undocumented, he was supposed to be deported. And even if he was documented, what does it take? He got the aggravated child abuse. Okay, a year and a day. He got the second instance. It was lewd and lascivious molestation. Why did you downgrade it to aggravated child abuse? Why was it downgraded? And it goes back to, what are you looking for? For him to murder somebody before you put him in prison? Well, there you have it. Now he murdered a girl. What does it take? So it gets worse. Because the lewd and lascivious molestation were dropped and it was changed to aggravated child abuse, he didn't have to register as a sex offender. Why would you do that? Why would you? Oh my God. Okay. But then my question is, if he had to register as a sex offender, would they then take seriously that he was undocumented in the U.S. and then deport him? I don't know. This is really confusing. I don't get this. He had also been arrested multiple times before. Lambs. I'm sitting here thinking those 2 times were the only thing, but no. He was arrested multiple times before on domestic violence charges against a former girlfriend, and he was arrested because he violated his restraining order. He still didn't go to jail. What does it take? I guess it only takes till you murder somebody. This person had so many red flags, so many issues. He should have been in prison or he should have been deported and imprisoned in his own country because remember, he's undocumented. What does it take? Police also found out that the last time Jerry was actually on their radar was June 18th. So what was that? 2 weeks before this? Apparently, they had received a call about a man walking down the street with a knife. So they went out, found him, got him to drop it. And while all this was going on and they're trying to diffuse the situation, he punched 3 deputies. And records show that that case was still ongoing for 1 count of resisting an officer with violence and 3 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer. Still no jail though. It did show that they did instate Florida's Baker Act mental health law, which is a short-term inpatient voluntary and involuntary examination. So basically they had him mentally examined and probably put in a mental health facility for a short time, but still no jail time. Now, I understand if you're having mental health issues, maybe it's not necessarily jail that you need to be in, but he needs to be in somewhere. Just walking around free, walking around with knives, walking around molesting children. How does this seem like it's a good idea? You can clearly see he's some people who have a lot of people who have mental health issues are not a danger to themselves or others. They just have mental health issues. This is one individual who was a danger to others. Why would you keep them walking around on the street? He didn't even care that it was police officers, let alone children. So currently this investigation in dealing with Rose was still ongoing. When they arrested him, he didn't resist arrest and he was charged with first-degree felony murder. So far, I haven't seen an update to this case. I know he did make his first court appearance in July, but I think that was just to establish his charges and that was it. But otherwise, I don't see not one update on this case. So if you find any updates on this case, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be looking out for it. Neighbors did say that Jerry was homeless and he was familiar with this apartment complex because he had lived in the area and he also frequented local bars. So he's familiar with this area on a whole. And they also told police that he has been seen watching girls and that they were really, they kept telling police that they were concerned about him. Now, me personally, I wonder after all of these things that he's been charged with, like, is this one going to stick? Does it finally take murder for this person to finally be in jail or be deported? I don't understand. Like these kind of cases, this is what makes me angry because how many things do you have to do before the danger is taken seriously? I don't understand. How much did he have to do? And I'm guessing he actually had to do this before his danger was taken seriously. Just, I don't understand. Like I said before, he punched 3 police officers. Clearly he doesn't care. Or his mental health is so deteriorated that he can't even understand. And you can see how that's affecting others. He's not an individual who you can't say, well, he's not a danger to himself or others. He is clearly a danger to anybody, especially young girls. What are you thinking keeping him out? Or even, in all actuality, keeping him in the country? He's undocumented and illegal. And I'm not saying go deport him to Haiti where he'll do the same thing. He needs to be in prison in Haiti too. Either way, wherever he goes, because if he's in prison here, that's our tax dollars paying for him. He needs to be deported back to his country and be in prison there. He's not a resident of this country. We shouldn't be paying for him. And I don't understand, just on his first offense, he should have been deported. He has a violent past. Why was he either not in prison or a mental health facility for violent people? I just don't understand how you left him out. Even if you weren't deporting him, whatever, let's get off that deportation. I don't understand how you left him out until he murdered a little girl. She was just 13. She was just 13. And he punched police. He molested other children. He violated restraining orders, domestic battery against women, lewd and lascivious acts with another minor. That's just 5 that I have on my hand right now. And I'm pretty sure there were others. And you left him out until he murdered a 13-year-old child. I just don't understand it. That is my rant for today. Don't come at me and talk about being documented or undocumented. That's not the point of this whole case. I don't want y'all to get off topic and start talking about something else that's not even what the main point of this case is. The main point of this case is this guy was dangerous and nothing was done about him until he murdered a 13-year-old girl, and her family and friends had to find her that way and now have to deal with this issue because this guy was left out. That's the main point of this. I don't want to hear anything else past that. So the poll that I have for you for this episode is, do you think this murder is on the hands of this particular justice system? Meaning Orange County, Florida's justice system. I'm not talking about the whole American justice system. I'm just talking about that particular justice system. Do you think this is on their hands? Yes or no? That's the only answers that you're going to have. Yes or no? Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I could be wrong on why they didn't put him away or why they didn't deport him. Maybe y'all know more about the justice system than I do. And that's not sarcasm. I'm legit saying that. So let me know if you have any ideas, any thoughts on why they didn't deal with this individual. Please let me know in the comments below. That is all I have for you for this Florida Man Friday. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And also go ahead and share this episode with somebody you know and somebody you don't. So right now this episode kind of has me in my feels, so I'm not going to tell you exactly who to share it with. So just share it with somebody you know and share it with somebody you don't. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.